Reba here. Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Well, you guys, this went down. You see the black or the red? All right. There's more though. Well, I could have shifted all this down, but I'd already wasted all my zip ties, so I just cut the section and just moved this section to here because I had enough of the red to do that in order to finish off the rest of the fence. So our new neighbors that moved in, they got a really, really great dog. Really nice, but he's really, really high strung. He was a rescue dog. He's very energetic, and he's a real sweetheart. However, he tends to run the fence line and bark like crazy. So I'm hoping that maybe this will help create a more calming effect for him, and maybe he won't bark quite as much, and also maybe not stir up as much dust. I don't know. She said that their last place they lived, they had a fence that he could kind of sort of not see through, but also see through. So, and he would still do the same thing. So I'm hoping that maybe this will calm him down, since my dog doesn't excite him, and my dog doesn't really make him run up and down the fence line. We'll try, because the dust was so bad today that, I was sitting outside reading my Bible with my sister, and he started barking at my son who was playing, and my son is very sensitive to sound because he has Asperger's, and so along with this, with the dog barking, that makes him not want to be outside so much, because he doesn't even like fireworks. Like whenever there's fireworks, he's got to go hide. So if things get too loud, he can't emotionally like handle it all. So what we do, this is what I ended up doing, you guys. So I had this fabric here, and I made another video, but I'm going to go ahead and do this video now in place of the other one. So this is kind of where things have ended up so far in the yard. I'm going to go ahead and just leave this section pretty much no plants along here, just so that I can mow easy and that sort of thing. And I'll just leave my plants on the other side of the yard for the most part, the majority of the plants. This is a little bit high for these planters here, and it'll be a little bit harder for me to harvest and stuff from. There's less space for trellising and that sort of thing, what have you. So, but yeah, so this is kind of something I did so far this evening. When he's come out, he's been a little bit more calm and while I was putting it up, the other dog came out, barked a little bit, but since he couldn't really see the other dog as much, he only barked a little bit, and then he began exploring the rest of his yard, which he's not really been doing. So hopefully this will work. Only time will really tell, you guys. So now he can't see anything like from up here, because he was looking at my son playing with his toys, and he was barking at my son earlier, and then he heard me in the garage, and I was doing stuff in the garage. I had the door open so I could get some fresh air in there, but there was, he was barking then at me, and then at my son. And then my other son, not the one with Asperger's, he was barking at the one that has Fragile X syndrome. So the second time. But there was so much dust going earlier today that I was sneezing and stuff, and so I figured this might really help. So we'll see. If it doesn't, then I can take it down. It's not a big deal. But it's an experiment that I think would be good. So we will see. And my plants, I've been spraying off their leaves. They're looking good. This one needed water. It was in the greenhouse, and I about killed it myself. So these both are a little bit wilty. So I gave them a water, almost forgot to water them in the midst of everything. So now they've got some water. They'll perk back up. Everything will be great. And so, I don't think I'm going to put very many plants along here. Just the ones that are on the fence line, like on the fence itself. I would like all of the fabric and stuff to be a little bit lower. I don't think it needs to be quite as high as it is. I like to have the pots about close to this height here, so just down a little bit more. So we'll just see how everything goes. We'll see if I can figure out something else to do in the future. I was thinking it would be cool if I just made like a fence quilt, because I've got all that fabric in the house. And then, you know, of course it would be like, it would totally, you know, suck, because once you start sewing and you get like multiple layers of fabric, it gets heavy. And this vinyl is pretty heavy as it is. It's kind of straining on the vinyl, so it's kind of pulling a little bit. And then the just plain fabric actually is actually quite nice. I only had enough to do from that back corner all the way up to about here. That's almost the entire fence line. Had I not used it all making little girls dresses all those years ago, then I probably would have had enough to do the entire fence line. But this was the only one I could think of that I had the most fabric that was basically plain. Anything with a print would actually sun fade. And so I don't care if the pink sun fades, because it's closer to white and it's a light pink. I've got a mosquito. Okay, I just squished it with the phone. Okay, you guys, you were a part of that now. All right. So yeah, so this is what I ended up doing. Now it does have the rough salvage edges on this one. This is some of you are gonna scream. This is a Kona cotton. But I've had it for over 10 years, and so I wasn't using it up. I use the white more than I do anything else for lining in my dresses and stuff like that, for my little kids clothing. And I've already gone through a lot of the yellow, just trying to use it up over the years. So for various projects, just trying to get rid of it. So I wasn't really using the pink that much, so I figured, you know, might as well. Worst case scenario, it gets messed up, I throw it away. Big deal. But the quilters and the sewers out there, they're probably going to be like, what are you doing? So picking up the trash. This was the board for it. It was Robert Kaufman Kona. Baby pink. That's what I had here. So yeah, a really good high quality cotton being put to good use. Hopefully. We'll see how the puppy does with this. So far so good, but we'll just wait and see. I did already come through and rinse off all of the leaves. Everything's looking pretty good. But I'm hoping. There was so much dust today, you guys. Like I said, my sister called. We were reading the Bible. We were I was trying to read, but the dog was barking so much that I couldn't even read. And it was so distractive, and there was so much dirt flying around, and my barbecue grill is all covered in dirt now. And I also had dirt on my pages in my Bible. So it was getting kind of concerning, and I was sneezing a lot. So that was my little experiment earlier. So we'll just see, you know, what happens. But all the plants are, for the most part, are looking pretty good. Show you guys what I did back here. I was kind of frustrated earlier, and I was back here hoeing, getting some of my frustration out. I was using my rake, not my hoe. So there's the rake. And I was getting some of my frustration out because I'd spent all these months preparing my garden, tilling up the ground, putting down the shade cloth, and then this area basically become non-usable to me because of this dog. And so what I've done here is I kind of raked up the ground, and I threw a bunch of grass seed down on it, and the birds will probably come and eat it. That's been my luck this year. I've just been through the ringer, you know, but that's okay. I'm not going to give up. I'm flustered, but I'm not going to give up. I'm still going to go ahead and plant my tomatoes back here. Like after 5 o'clock, there's no sun in this section of the yard. But it does get sun from this section over for the majority of the day. So that's good. So we'll just see how well the tomatoes do. I honestly won't be planting back here again next year. So this will all be left to grass and weeds and what have you. And I'll just mow and keep it trimmed up next year. So after this growing season, I'll be pulling up all of the fabric that's back here. And yeah. So this is how the fabric looks on this side. There is some gapping down here, and there's a little bit right here at the end. But the dog doesn't want to stay there. He gets too antsy, and so he won't stay back there in that little corner right here, that little gap that I left. And he can see, but he'd have to lay down. So we'll see. Only time will tell whether or not that's going to work or not. And if it does work, great. But what I might end up doing is I might end up getting like dollar store or not dollar store, but like dollar fabric, you know, by the yard, and see about just getting some plain color or something. And yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll even paint this. I don't know. I definitely don't think I want to keep the red, but you guys let me know what you think. I asked the neighbor if it looked too bad. On their side, they've got kind of a whitish pink color on the other side of the red. And then I've got the light pink going across the other side. I don't think it really looks that bad, you guys. It is kind of redneckish, I think. But yeah, so that is how it is looking. I do need to put the lock back on the shed door just so the wind don't blow it. I don't like lock it because, you know, we don't have anything really valuable in there, so it's not like a big deal. So yeah, so all the plants ended up moving. My kohlrabi and my beets over here, I think they'll do a lot better in this section of the garden. I'm not going to go through all the plants and that sort of thing, but everything's looking good. I still haven't gotten those gooseberry limbs trimmed off yet because they did break a little bit, but they're still connected, so they're still got life source going to them. So I'll just kind of like let that be until I have a chance to actually do that. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Everything's looking good over here. This is going to flower soon. I really want to get it out of the pot with the columer. Still debating on whether or not I want to keep the columer trees. A part of me feels like just going ahead and selling them and then just freeing up these 2 buckets. Because I'm not necessarily married to them, but I just kind of like the idea of them. They're kind of cute. So I don't know. I'm not married to them, so the majority of the plants, like the mountain ash, I love it. I definitely want to keep it. It's a unique tree to me. Definitely want to keep the Honeycrisp apple. That's a definite keeper. I could live without the pear, to be completely honest. It's a red Bartlett, I think. And so I could totally live without the pear. Totally. The Fantasia nectarine, definite keeper. The peach tree, it's a little sad, and there's a little bit more die off on the ends now. If you can see how dark they're getting right there. These limbs have been dying back slowly but surely, but I'm hoping that there'll be some more life coming on to this main one, this one right here. I've had to cut so much back on these, so we'll just have to wait and see how everything. There's a lot of die off down here too, but I might cut it back to about 1 inch before that node there on with the branches coming on. So yeah, and then my Rainier cherry is a definite keeper right there. So yeah, I mean, I've got some definite keepers. I could get rid of the pear and be happy. I do have several other small pear trees that I've grown from seed that would be completely happy with keeping. Yeah, they won't be true to what I ate, and they're kind of like an apple in that respect. But I think chances are with pears, you're still going to get a pear. I don't think you get like a crab apple type pear. So I think I would be completely fine with whatever I got there. So I may end up selling the pear tree, and I may end up selling the 2 columers, and so we'll see. I may ask $25 a piece for them, so we'll just wait, you guys. I may end up doing that sooner than later, actually. So yeah, so I'll keep you guys informed. I've got my carnival squashes over here, and I got some watermelon on the ends here, one here and one here. Garlic's doing good. I've only harvested the Chinese pink. Excellent flavor, really good. Tomatoes are starting to ripen up on this one here, and they are not what they say they are. This one says it's a Bonnie original. It's starting to look like it might be that. I think these are probably the same exact tomato. But this one says it's supposed to be a Roma tomato. You guys, I've never seen a round Roma tomato. I've seen like oblong type tomatoes for Romas. So yeah. I've got some of my cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna be moving the comfrey out of here, and then I'll put some more soil in here, and I'm gonna move the comfrey that's right there, put some more soil in there. That way I can plant some more tomatoes over here. And down here I'm planning on planting some more of the other pumpkins and things like that, maybe down in this section. This section doesn't get quite as much sun, so I don't know how well they'll do, but I'm gonna go ahead and plant them anyways. I got some like those sweetie pie ones, so they are great for making your pies. And then the gray containers are basically just my these are mostly my herbs now. And my dog can kind of sort of pee on them, but you know what, I'm okay with it. I love my dog. So we'll let him pee on it. So I'll just wash everything. So I've got all my herbs here getting ready for the plant cell. And I could put my trees in my plant cell too, by the way. So that might be a good idea. I am getting fruit on them this year. But yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily married to them. So I would be okay with parting with them. I don't want the pots to go with them, that's for sure. But they're great for like people who live with just a small patio, like a little balcony or something like that. They're perfect. So so apartment owners could have them, definitely. So yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. So this is how everything's looking. I got like little trees and stuff around here. My chestnut trees around there. I was going to give my mom some chestnut trees, but I don't know. I really don't know. I think I should probably hold on to them. I'll just send her nuts when they start making food. And that I'll just do it that way, because I plan to put them in the ground as soon as I can. And yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. And then everything's looking good over here. My berries are looking pretty good. Everything is a little bit brighter in the camera. It's getting dusk now. Sun's getting ready to go down. So yeah, I mean, I don't like to do negative type videos, you guys. I try to tend to be upbeat. I try to tend to want to kind of like, just do the right thing and be kind and everything like that. And I definitely don't want to upset my neighbors, and I definitely don't want to create an eyesore for them either. But I also don't want to have a bunch of dirt flying into my yard all the time. I was sneezing like crazy, like I said, and the birds are eating the seed as I speak back there. Yep. Bye-bye. I might have to go back there and blend it in to the ground a little bit with the rake and then water it again, and the bird is going to town. Oh my goodness, you guys. So yeah. But yeah, I was sneezing quite a bit earlier, and it was because of all the dirt, and who knows what's in this dirt. There's just trash buried in these yards back here, and I don't understand why people do that. This is supposed to be a green state. I mean, come on now, Washington. So anyways, but yeah, the dog seemed a little bit calmer after I put up the barrier, guys. So hopefully we will see. He might hear my voice, might want to bark. Yeah, but now my kids can come outside and they can play. I did call my landlord and ask them if there was anything that they could do. I knew that they were going to say no. They're like, it's their right to have a dog, and it's your right to have a dog, and you have a dog, and your neighbor before you had a dog, and I'm like, it's not that, it's the dirt and that sort of thing, and the dog being super hyper, like to the point where he's he's running crazily back and forth, digging up the grass and making a giant dirt track so that dirt flies everywhere all the time. I mean, it would have been a nightmare having family and friends over. You know, 4th of July is coming up. I've got family coming. And if we decided to have the barbecue here at our house, this dog would have been ruining the barbecue because there would have been dirt everywhere. And so I don't know. I don't want to complain. I really, 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 really don't. But I'm hoping that maybe this is a good fix. I didn't have to fasten down the bottom section of the fabric on along the fence. It looks like it might blow when the wind comes, yes, but that fabric's pretty light, and so far so good. I'll keep an eye on it for sure. This one I had to tack it down because the wind was blowing on it like a giant cell, but it is pretty heavy, and that's going to take a toll on the fence. So I don't know, I might need to replace the red part and or maybe go and get some more baby pink fabric and just make it all one happy family, you know what I'm saying? And then we could always go from there. So I've gotten a lot of the mess cleaned up here by the house. Just need to put some things away for the most part, and get ready for the plant sale sometime in the near future. My kids are kind of having a mini summer break from school right now, and so they're kind of excited or enjoying that. Are you wearing one of my purple socks? Is that my purple sock? Are you ruining my good socks? I don't care about the other one. You should be ashamed. And those are my favorite. Don't be getting all the pitch from the forest all up on them. I already ruined one pair of my socks like that. They're the Under Armour socks or whatever, and they are great in your sneakers for going to the gym and that sort of thing. So yeah, he should have shoes on. So watch him biff it. But anyways, you guys, thanks for coming along, listening to me rant a little bit. I really don't like these kind of videos, and I really didn't want to have these kind of videos. I'm still telling myself I'm not mad, but clearly there's something going on inside of me if I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on. So I just want to keep the peace. I'm a non-confrontational type person. I want everybody to coexist and just be happy. So anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, and subscribe. I probably already said all of this. And anyways, have a wonderful evening and God bless. Bye.